Minimizo. Pongo pantalla parcial. Well, you can see that there, I guess. 86. 86 days. To go. Yep. 15 hours, 51 minutes and 321 seconds. 50 minutes. Close, maximize. Ay, ay, ay. 193. Let me read something here. Mm, so definitely it did break out, had a retracement, and with this new high here, we are confirming this is now moving upwards. It's an uptrend. Good. So we had this level, small resistance here. Mhm. Is this a round number? Yeah, the 900. Observation. Green marbles of candle that makes a breakout, and this is coming from a higher low. Now we have a higher high. It is also a higher high if we think of it as one like part of this overall uptrend move since 7 a.m. and it is a new high. If we think of it as a breakout past this resistance line that I've just drawn here, new high, then we have a red candle that closes below its opening point, and it can be thought of as a retracement. Um, and a second red candle that closes right at the line of the prior resistance we've thrown, meaning that now this becomes, if this candle information closes above its opening point, now this area becomes SNR, which is support and resistance. And now it has created a higher low, and it is on its own part of the SNR as well. The support. Alright, that was a green Maraboso candle that closes right at the top by the prior resistance. Could this be a strength candle? It might be because it's coming from a dynamic support or support trend, trend line, uptrend, and also bounce back from the prior, from the area which prior in the prior price action was a resistance. On the other hand, I have that it is a large candle, Mariboso, like the prior Mariboso, close at the round level as well, and it is close to the resistance and it didn't break out, so it could produce a red candle, which if you see it, the red candle is showing some indecision. It's like a doji almost. Has price action at the top and at the bottom. Good, so it's just confirmed the resistance here. Let's see if it is going to create another red candle. And we are at the top of this uptrend. And how many legs do we have? I have one, two, three, and then consolidation markets, and then I have this breakout candle, which is actually Mariposa. Where is this going? Okay, this is also a double bottom. And if it is a double bottom, the extreme upper point to complete this chart is this at the top here. Essentially, it is the 15,000. That's a great round number there. We will probably have price action. I will change the color. We'll put it in purple, purple, and zoom in a little bit. Good. So, although this prior candle, this green candle prior to the one information, close above its opening point is an indecision candle and is still trapped within the wicks of the prior red candle, which means that this could, well, this is just essentially confirming that there is a higher low because we have this price action here and candle that have just closed made a breakout here. Good, so this is a breakout. It's also a higher high. It's an impulse and it's a continuation of the overall trend. And I want to elongate a little bit this level, the support, and I will take out this one. If I see that the price is coming back up, then I will just draw it again, but I will take it off for now. At the top I have resistance, and although I'm not planning on using it too much, I want to have it there for reference because recent movement of the market are showing that breakouts are not generating a continuation, which means that buyers are losing strength, are losing power, and maybe sellers are a little bit stronger. So, something else I'm able to observe is that breakouts now run less space after having broken out compared to the prior moves. Yes. So I will just leave it there marked. You'll observe. Now we have rates. We have red sellers under entry, bearish move downtrend, and this has confirmed the highest high at the top here. Mhm. I have a two candles pattern to some extent, although I also had one, but for this it repeated the two. It closed at the level. Yes, it did close at the level, but how much would you trust that, taking into account that the prior greens, although broke out, they didn't get a continuation and they are fairly small compared to the prior movements of green candles. This last leg of greens, of bulls, is weaker than the prior one, two, three legs, meaning that there could be the possibility that this candle, instead of closing even above the support line, the dynamic support line that I have drawn, it could start to show some sellers strength. And we remember that we said we would draw this level in case the price came back down. It did come back down. It broke out that support. Now we have another support, but not in the diagonal dimension, in the horizontal. And it looks, in spite of having broken out, it does look like an explosion red candle. Let's see how this reacts. Probably going to close above its opening point. Um, could be. Buyers are entering. If they close the candle above the opening point, then this would be an SNR confirmed with two touches on each side. And if this is a ranging market, I will not think of it as a retracement because it is from one perspective, but overall, I'll just contextualize a little bit. Maybe it's just a green candle that is bouncing back from a support that had already been confirmed on an SNR level at the end of an uptrend that has shown weakness on the buyers or bulls side. I will wait. I see that this candle information, which is green, is having some maybe some support from the EMA, which is the exponential moving average, the line that I have there. Hmm. Let's see if I can change the color of this thing. But I don't want it too outstanding because it gets me distracted. What if I put it green? There it is. It did close above the opening point. It is a strong green candle. It closes nearly at the resistance. Well, not really, but it closed really near the. Mm. Eh? Where is my line? I don't see it. I put it too clear. Okay, this is interesting. I have a large Barroso candle that could also be a exhaustion candle. However, the grids didn't create a higher high, and that means the sellers enter from a lower point, which could indicate that they are starting to dominate. This candle is likely to break the level, meaning that it could close below the opening point, meaning that it could be a red candle. On the other hand, it is still more Barroso, so it could give us a green, but it is more likely to break ours. Let me just change the color of this because it's too light and I couldn't see it. Let's see now. Okay, much better. Alright, this is a green candle with some price action at the bottom. It is a green candle, it is a weak green candle. Okay, by the way, that red candle was actually a breakout. We have a new low in this ranging market, and we have the retracement green candle and then the continuation red candle. Mm, it shows greens at the bottom because I see the red is forming a large shadow. Do we have a level that we think it might be respecting? It is a red candle, but still within. Oh, vaya. There was a gap up, as I can see. Yes, there was a gap up. This, I will take this resistance, remove it, and draw a new resistance from top to bottom. because now the market is making lower highs and we now have a lower low, and these two red candles seem to be forming a bearish leg. Don't try to move, which would confirm a lower high again. Let's see if I have a resistance. Support at the bottom somewhere that I could think of. Not really, so it's already broken the resistance line. Interesting. Red candle close with significant body seems to be showing sellers strength. It closed by a horizontal support. Mhm. And instead of giving us a continuation candle, because this is a breakout again, well, I don't know, this is actually a continuation, but it's a breakout if you take into account these two candles with so much shadow at the bottom. It gives us a support. It gives us a green candle that closes above its opening point, maybe because of this support line that we have here. I will delete this support bottom to top because it gives me more space to observe the market action, price action. We'll draw this level here. Do we have a pattern? We have a candle count pattern here, and essentially it is of two. I am able to observe as well that it is by okay the round number. So the following candle has chances of giving us a red candle that closes naturally below its opening point. I see some buyer's weakness at the top or seller's presence, but there it kind of pauses. Let's see, maybe with some margin of safety, could be by the EMA, which is slightly invisible, but it's looking a little gray and green. So I think this candle is showing some seller's presence at the top. Let's see if it closes as a red candle. It might not, but it's more likely to than to not, because we have the EMA at the top, we have a pattern of two candles, and well, that's all we have for information actually. hmm Fires kind of become stronger. hmm It closed at the top. We are at the resistance, and now this market is making lower highs. Maybe this is going to be a red candle, more likely than the prior one, because it exhausted the possibility of the candle count that we had considered of two green candles, one red. Yes, let's observe. We can also be mistaken, and this is just description. Of course, this is just description now that I made a wrong analysis. Well, I was actually thinking of the possibilities. But I did think that sellers were going to close below the opening point of the prior green candle. They didn't. The greens were still present. hmm This is a beautiful candle. It's an engulfing candle coming from a resistance. What could we expect off of this? Well, we might expect, taking into account that we also have a lower low, lower high, that this following candle could be a red candle too, maybe. Could be. hmm Let me see the overall market. This is starting to look like a, what is this? Is this a head and shoulder? Is this a rounding top? No, it's not a rounding top. has too much price action to be around in top. Um, I still need more information to tell what kind of chart it is. But if we zoom it in and we see it from a little closer, we might be able to kind of identify this as a head and shoulder. But then there is the rest, so many price actions there, supports and resistance. Um, we do know that this is a retracement for the double top. Right, it is the retracement for the double top. That's correct. Mhm. All right. It closed below its opening point with some buyer's presence. Let's see the following candle. Where is it going? I don't really know. Could be anything because it's right in the middle. And this at this point is a ranging market. But it's making the recent movements are making lower highs and lower lows. Now that I think of it, let me draw this support top to bottom because I have a support here. Starts to look like a channel. Is that real? It is. I have another level, but I would have so many levels to draw. Move it upwards a little bit. Okay, we remember that market has created one, two, three lower lows, and this is about likelihood. We will observe and see whether it is going to break this support that is horizontal and keep creating a lower low, maybe to confirm the channel, the downward channel, descending channel. I see a lot of price action there. Greens, reds. Interesting observation. There is a gap up for this candle. Green, reds again. It closed below its opening point. This for vertical, not vertical, this diagonal line was not respected, so we could think of the following line. Observation, breakouts have not been creating continuation, and we have one, two, three cases of that. So we may expect that this case also doesn't create a continuation. It is a breakout of the horizontal line, which I will draw in, oopsie, in blue. I will draw it in blue. It is in blue. Come on, Kimi. Yes, I will draw it in some other color, black. How about purple? So it is a breakout off of the purple line, which is a horizontal support, and it could close above its opening point because every breakout, which is one, two, three, has been created a green candle, meaning that hasn't been creating a continuation, and that gives us more likelihood for a green candle on the following breakout, which was the case. It now still has created something important. Considering the horizontal support, it is a breakout. Considering the dynamic support, which I will now switch color for, would pass this on blue because it was broken, and we'll put this diagonal top to bottom in purple. It hasn't been, so it's just market has created a breakout new low if we see the horizontal support, and has created a lower low if we see the dynamic support or the overall movement in the prior half an hour, maybe 17, 20, 38, 20, 21 minutes. It's been creating lower lows. um And now I see we have two green candles for retracement and a red candle that looks like an exhaustion candle or a strength candle. How would I be able to tell? I am not sure honestly because it's so close from the support and at the same time it didn't reach the resistance, and on the other hand buyers are weak and they're showing seller's entry at the top. So this could be a strength candle or an exhaustion candle because we have one, two, three, four legs of sellers moving downwards, still creating lower lows. So it could be anything. It did close right at the prior low from the prior sellers. And now I see I got down. Temperature is raising, starting to sweat my hands. Um, okay, so this is a breakout candle, closes just at the horizontal support that is below. I will move it a little bit. We remember that we've had four cases of breakout without continuation, and for this time we're having a breakout that closes right at the support, a horizontal support. Let's see what the following candle does because it could reproduce the pattern. Although taking into account that the prior high didn't reach the resistance line, but that it started way lower, in fact, even closer to the prior support, it could mean that buyers are present. But as this is against the support, horizontal support, which I've just drawn, it could mean that sellers are stronger and that they could create a candle that closes below its opening point. But I'm still not sure. It could be anything. Overall, because there is another round number here, which was the 800. Good. They broke the pattern. They are now creating a continuation after the breakout candle, and they broke the support too, meaning that sellers are stronger. Let's see how the following candles react because it could mean that they would take out the price even lower, but it could also mean I'm not sure actually yet, but this is starting to look like a rounding bottom, by the way. A rounding top actually, because this at the top is up. This is not a channel. Definitely, we just confirmed it. But I will leave this blue dynamic resistance or diagonal resistance up there to make it for reference in case the price wants to come up. But I could draw that later actually. I will remove it. Oh, la, 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 la. Mhm. Did create a red candle, and now price is moving upwards. Maybe it already completed the rounding top. If that is the case, we have possibilities of seeing that this overall for red legs movement is a whole retracement of this double bottom. But it is a deep retracement if it is the case. Let's review the overall trend. Ranging market. We are at the bottom of a ranging market with two touches. And after the third touch, which is a formation of this double bottom, we have an uptrend move that has created a new high. And this new high has a retracement. And now I see green buyers moving upward. And this retracement, which is a continuation of the overall double bottom, is on its own also the retracement of this of this retracement, which is also considered the breakout or impulse of this level that we had drawn prior. I'll just put it there again here. Correct. Hence, the greens that we're seeing here is a retracement of this impulse after the breakout of the blue support that I had drawn, and on its own is also the continuation of this after this retracement, which I am marking with purple, because this blue line, if I take into account the overall trend, we'll just minimize and put it up here.